I think I have no more power to move forward." He said. The heat hit him like a fist. Elias gripped his saddle and laughed, a dry, cracked laugh that scared even him. "Is that all you got?" he shouted at the sun. His voice broke on the last word. The men back at the trading post would have stared if they saw him now. A grown male rider talking to the sky like a fool. But out here, alone, with no water and no shade, a man could say anything he wanted. No one was watching. No one but the desert. He reached for his water bag out of habit. His fingers found it empty, same as an hour ago. He shook it anyway, hopping for one last drop. Nothing. "Figures," he muttered. His horse stumbled on a loose stone. Elias grabbed the reins tighter, but his hands felt far away, like they belonged to someone else. The world tilted. Sand and sky changed places for one dizzy second. He tried to laugh again. Nothing came out this time. Then, without deciding to, he let go of the reins. His body slid sideways. He hit the ground hard and the sand swallowed the sound of his fall. Dust rose around him like smoke, then settled soft and slow, as if the desert had been waiting for him all along. His horse shied away and trotted off, reins dragging. Elias did not move. His chest rose and fell, small and slow. The sun climbed higher, pressing down on his still body like a hand that would not lift. Near a broken fence not far off, 2 donkeys stood in a thin patch of shade. Nell lifted her head first. She saw something dark and strange lying out in the open sand, where nothing should be lying at all. She let out a soft, worried sound. Buck raised his old gray head too, and his tired eyes went sharp and still. A man down, not moving. Neither donkey looked away. Nell took one step toward the fence. Then she stopped. Her ears turned back toward Buck, waiting. The gap in the fence stood open in front of her, wide enough to slip through. Beyond it, only sand and heat and that still, dark shape in the distance. Buck did not move. He watched the shimmer rising off the desert floor and felt something old and careful stir inside him. He had lived long enough to know what the desert could do to a body. Snakes hid under rocks. Heat could drop even a strong animal in an hour. Going out there was a risk. Staying safe behind the fence was not. Nell looked back at him one more time. Then she pushed forward anyway. Her small hooves sank into the sand outside the fence. She did not run. She did not know how to run into danger, but she kept walking, one slow step after another, toward the man who was not moving. Buck watched her go. His chest felt tight and heavy. He could stay. No one would know. No one would blame a donkey for staying where it was safe. But Nell kept walking, smaller and smaller against the wide desert, and something in Buck would not let her walk alone. He grunted low in his throat and pushed through the gap after her. His old legs found the rhythm slowly, hooves sinking and pulling free, sinking and pulling free. The sun pressed down on his back like a heavy hand. Sweat darkened his gray coat. Still, he did not slow down. He caught up to Nell, and the two of them walked side by side now, matching each other step for step. Neither donkey made a sound. There was nothing to say. Only the sand and the heat and the long walk ahead of them. The man lay still up ahead, closer now, close enough to see his chest barely rising. Nell's steps quickened. Buck's did too. Neither one of them turned back. Nell reached him first. She lowered her head and pressed her nose against his shoulder. No answer, no sound, only that slow, shallow breath so faint she almost missed it. Buck came up beside her, breathing hard from the walk. He looked at the man's pale face, then at the empty desert around them, then back toward the fence, far away now, small as a thread on the horizon. He turned his body sideways and pressed against the man's arm. Then he pushed. The man's body moved an inch across the sand. Nell understood at once. She pressed her shoulder against his other side and pushed too. Another inch, then another. It was slow work, terribly slow. Their legs strained with each push, and the sand did not make it easy. In some spots it was soft and deep, swallowing their hooves whole. In other spots, sharp stones hid just beneath the surface, biting at their legs. Still, they did not stop. Just a little more, Nell's tired eyes seemed to say, every time she looked at his pale, cracked lips. They pushed, they rested, they pushed again. The shadow of the fence grew longer, but so slowly it barely seemed to move at all. Sweat soaked their coats. Their breath came fast and rough. The sun did not care. It stayed high and hard above them. Then Buck stopped. His ears turned forward, sharp and still. Somewhere far off, carried on the hot wind, came a small sound, a creak, wheels turning. He threw back his head and let out a loud bray, as loud as his tired body could manage. It cracked across the empty desert like a whip. Nell joined him at once, her voice high and urgent, calling into the same wide sky. On a distant trail, an old wagon slowed. A rancher named Tom turned his head, squinting toward the strange sound. "Now that's odd," he muttered. He almost looked away, almost told himself it was nothing. But something in that sound made him stop. He turned his wagon off the trail, toward the sand, toward the noise that would not quit. Tom's wagon creaked closer and his eyes went wide. There in the open desert stood 2 donkeys, soaked in sweat, legs shaking, standing guard over a man who lay still in the sand. "Good Lord," he whispered, and jumped down before the wagon even stopped. He pressed 2 fingers against the man's neck, a pulse, faint but there. "He's alive," Tom said, "barely but alive." He looked up at the 2 donkeys, and slowly, understanding filled his weathered face. "You too," he said, his voice soft with disbelief. "You pulled him all this way, didn't you?" Nell lowered her head, too tired to answer even if she could have. Tom did not waste another second. He lifted Elias and carried him to the wagon, laying him gently on a bed of soft hay. He tipped water between the man's cracked lips, then poured more into an old bucket for the donkeys, who drank like they hadn't tasted water in days. "Come on then," Tom said gently. "You've earned a ride home too." The strange little group made their way toward town, where a doctor was waiting. Elias survived. It took many long days of rest, but his strength slowly returned. When he finally understood what had happened, how 2 donkeys had found him, pushed him across burning sand, and cried out until someone came, he could hardly believe it. "Donkeys," he said, shaking his head, tears in his tired eyes. "2 donkeys saved my life." The story spread fast, the way stories do in small desert towns. People came from far away just to see Buck and Nell, just to look into their calm eyes and wonder. Elias never forgot them. He gave them the sweetest hay and the coolest water for the rest of their days. At night by firelight, folks told their children the tale of a rider who fell and 2 donkeys who would not leave him behind. A story of loyalty, a story of hope. A reminder that the smallest hearts can carry the greatest courage of all.